global citizen, a citizen of the world, and he has been leading all the research and development of all this technology. And tonight we will try to explain a little bit of what we're doing and all the innovation that we have in our hands and the innovation that is coming for the next years. Thank you, Doctor, for being here tonight. It's a pleasure, and thank you for your time, for being with all our English-speaking community. We have people from, as Helen was saying, from the United States of America, from some islands in the Caribbean, from Canada, from Mexico. So let's begin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you first for Dr. Ellen for giving us this opportunity to share our story and future with your members and leaders. And thank you, Alex, for this opportunity again today. It's a great pleasure to have this chance to celebrate this 10 years of anniversary in a business that normally move for 3-5 years and people renew, or sustainability and longevity is not the norm in such a sector. I think Alex, as Dr. Ellen was saying, and just to come back to her point, you know, about where we come for the last 10 years and our omotenashi and our woman empowerment focus is important to remind just where we started, you know, and why we are doing the way we are doing, and why Sanki is a unique company, you know. So I think instead of starting by the status about our technology, we can move directly to the genesis of our research, which is the microbiome, you know, the page of the microbiome page, and share with people where I started.
Yes.
So we started, you know, with the research in the microbiome, and why some human live this 100 years and why other humans don't have this chance. This research is very, very complicated. Frankly speaking, if we go back in the past, when I start doing it with the Okinawa project, I think they give me this project because I was kind and introvert, so I couldn't refuse, because it is very complicated project at that time. We don't have the AI system of today. We don't have the algorithm of today. We don't have the software of today that allow us to study such complexity of things. And the conclusion of this science, of this research, is some humans have very good, healthy, positive, happy life because of their simply microbiome. They got the gift from the mother at born, and this gift continue all of their life. And this gift of microbiome defy the what we call sometimes the pollution, the bad nutrition, and even heavy smoking, and make that these people is very healthy and happy. Now, how can we bring this to the average people after we study this is, I think, the unique point. Everybody at that moment, you know, try to take this to a pharmaceutical level, and there is existing a product in the market that take good bacteria and bad bacteria and select these good bacteria and giving to the people, and this is everybody is happy. But quickly we discovered at that same year that this solution is not feasible. You cannot communicate the bacteria from one human to another human in a sustainable way. It can be done in a short time, but not in long term. So this is brought us to develop our own technology, is how can we process such microbiome in a way to plus minus make an impact-like activity at the other subject, or the people who don't have the luck to have such super bacteria. And this was the origin of development of the ORISOD project, is how to copy, carbon copy the healthy microbiome from the healthy people to the average one, plus minus how to, we look at somebody who's successful and we try to see the success point and how to copy them to the average person. So this is Alex, give us a mindset of reverse engineering the process of looking from the end of the line to the and come back to today. We didn't start by looking at some cholesterol issue, diabetes issue, obesity issue, and try to find a solution, which is really very complex even today. We try to see why these people have very healthy body, why their eyes is still seeing at 100 years, why their mind is not becoming damaged, and memory is very low, dementia, etc. at this age, why they still have this positive smile and spirit, which is a clinical syndrome, of symptom of these people, and this is where we started. So we start copying a successful model. We didn't start by solving a problem as 99% of cases in a lot of companies. So if you look at this way in a pharmaceutical or health way, it's defy the everyday's wisdom, because everybody thinking, if you look today, this morning, at any product related to health, the storytelling start by showing the ugly reality of a sickness. Some women have a bad skin condition, somebody has obesity, somebody has diabetes, somebody have high pressure, fatigue, no energy, and the solution come and happy end of story. The reality is very, very, very complex. There is, every one of us has different quality of life, and our microbiome and our genetics makes everybody different. So there is no easy personalized medicine for everyone. So the strategy of Sankey from the beginning was to start by the end. Is we just copy the perfect model, and then we try to understand how it really works. So I start by simply understanding that this technology, it works, and then we start for the last more than 25 years try to understand how it works and make the mechanism and the other things. Now, Alex, this is way of looking at this. Comparing today, we are working with a lot of people in the US, and a lot of US doctors, leaders hearing us is in American way of companies, when they make a solution, if they bring any solution product, first they bring what they call scientific community advisors. They make a clinical tests, trials very quickly about the products. And then they say, okay, this is the solution and this is how it works and this is the evidence, which in reality, it's very, very complex. If you look at it in real average human, this solution can work for these people, but how can it work for somebody who is eating a lot of fat and no vegetables every day? How can it work for a woman who has high stress and cortisol level is very high because she has a stressful life? Hormone balance can affect everything. So there is too much factors that finally we cannot really make that any solution is efficacy. And this is what I'm trying to share today with you, that we start by the end. We didn't find a problem and trying to find it a solution, sell it a solution, but we try to copy from a perfect model, because and this is why I think when you say, Alex, 100 years, it is really the average maintenance we must make for a human body to not only to live 100 years. A human already not so far from the 100 years. Is how can they live in very good quality? It is not no honor in having memory loss from 70 years old. There is no honor in losing vision and start seeing old images in our eyes from 80s. There is no honor is in not being able to walk in the morning because we have backache and muscle and joint pain from 85 years old. People stuck with no walking. So our aim is really to bring this quality of aging to the people at very young age. So it is very, very difficult solution, because we must sell to the people the vision of the future. How can they looks good after 50s, after 60s, after 70s, after 80s? This is for me the biggest challenge in when we started this project.
And you started in Okinawa, in Japan, because I understand that even in Japan, which is, I think, maybe the healthiest country in the world. And why
Yes.
do I say that? Because the average lifespan of a Japanese is almost 90 years. And the average lifespan of an American is 74 years.
Yeah.
So there's a huge difference. And a lot of people think that it's because of their genes. And now we know that the secret is not just the genes. Maybe the genes can help, but it's more about epigenetics. And in Okinawa, the average lifespan is even higher than in all the other parts of Japan. So that's why you started in Okinawa, because I understand there are lots of centenarians there that have these good quality lives above 100 years, 100 years old. So
exactly this point, Alex. This above 100 years is the very unique point that we only can see it in concentrated in this island of Okinawa. Now what people never say about it is this, this island, people during World War II suffer from a lot of hunger. And a lot of people has, plus minus, we can say the weak people has been eliminated by this hunger. They couldn't survive, they starved, etc. So very few people who is very strong, especially the woman, strong woman survived more than men in Okinawa. And I think this survival mode bring to them this capacity to have a very strong microbiome. So it is not really about the simple genetics or the diet they are eating, but this is the secret is too simply is in the microbiome, and the microbiome is the things that they cannot change easily. And we cannot manipulate it easily. The only things we can is we can inspire from it, we can copy it, but we cannot just import it or buy it. I show you something interesting, Alex. Is we are still working in Okinawa, and we are making a lot of microbiome research, not only in the human but also in agriculture, because the microbiome we found it since then is we reuse it again for the agriculture people in Okinawa. So I give you the example of this farmer man. I'm sorry, my mobile phone will not be very clear, but you can see he's growing sweet potato.
Yes.
Now, this is the gentleman here, 86 years old.
Wow.
Now, everybody say this gentleman is maybe healthy and he go to the farm. That's why I cannot do it. But you can look at the other photo here. Look at his hand, what he has in his hand, Alex.
Well, I see his fingers like this, and the other, in the other hand, I cannot see very well. What is it?
Cigarette.
Oh, a cigarette, yeah. So he's
he's heavy smoker, not smoker.
Wow.
So, and he is growing beside this sweet potato. You can see the sugar cane that we use for our process for our, production. So if you look at such human, it's not the secret is that he woke up in the morning making his sports and go to his work and good feet, etc. No, simply they have heritage of this microbiome that today makes them, even if he is going to go to hamburger store every day, he still will be healthy. And this is average human don't like to hear this story. So But this is reality, and this is what differentiates a lot of human between themselves. And this is what we try to see: how can we take this science of these people who have this secret of living in good health and share it with the average people? And plus minus, when we try to look where this science come from, why, how can we get such similar bacteria system in the nature, and what type of food we can find it, this is brought us to the olive tree, and not an average olive tree.
And this is a paradigm shift. Sorry to interrupt, because for me, it's a paradigm shift, because we're not used to listening to this type of information. What we always listen to is wake up early in the morning, do your workout, exercise, eat healthy food, don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, don't stress, and you will be healthy. And at the end, we're not that healthy. On average, we see a lot of people that apparently are healthy, and at the end, they cannot live more than 80 years old. So this is a change of our paradigms and of our preconceived ideas that we have around health. What you're saying is that the microbiome, which means all these bacteria, viruses, fungus that live inside our guts, have this capacity to help us be healthier.
Healthier, you know, this is, we must accept these bacteria as their own kingdom. Normally, human body, if you see in the next page, human body have more bacteria cells than human body cells. If you describe this human plus minus in front of you, it is not a human body, it is a bacteria colony, because it's plus minus more bacteria than any other things. We always, I think it is not we always, or the scientist or the medicine neglected this. To be very honest and clear about that, it is all of this science is not new, Alex, at all. Chinese people 2000 years ago, they used the microbiome, and the Chinese emperor used to take the faces of young, strong men and women, dry them, and take intake in his food every day. And it is written in the Chinese literature. Why since 2000 years ago until recently, the last 156, Louis Pasteur, he put the evidence of the bacteria 165 years ago.
Yeah.
I think this is the struggle between the rich and the poor. For thousands of years, rich people need to maintain the power, and health is most important thing to maintain this power. And if they have this tricky way to find this health solution or fountain of youth, they want to keep it for the few people who can afford to pay a lot of money to get it. So do you think really, since the Chinese 2000 years ago, who put even the microbiome into skincare, and the Louis Pasteur 165 years ago, is this gap, I think, is was not empty, but just was reserved for some people. Now, forget about 165 years ago, even 20 years ago, when we talk about such solution, everybody expects that this solution goes to clinic, goes to our business could become a startup, and this is finished by making us very rich, and this is goes for a pharmaceutical development, and that's all. And this is the reality of the city. Now, could we do that? To be honest with you, I could become this model too. I was struggling in the beginning how to go into the future. One day I have a meal with a very old Japanese man, because, you know, I work with the aged people, so my friends is all of them not so young. And the old man at the plus minus at the end of his life, you know, the human become very free and tell you the truth at the end of their life. I asked him this question, how to do this project, how to do this business. And he said to me that the man life is like a playground room. And if you allow people to come inside your playground room, you cannot get them out easily. So you must be careful about your playground room and who you are bringing inside and who you don't bring. And for me, it was the point that he is saying that if you don't like to be with some people, with some situation, just don't start it. And we decided to move into making this project in boutique store, boutique style things. It's mean we are not interested to work with to sell the technology. I'm not interested to license the technology. I'm not interested to pass it to other people, because we want to control how we are using our own technology ourselves and sustain. Maybe this is maybe the contamination that I get from these aged people who is at 90, 80, 90, 100 years old, could have such wisdom, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is what affected the whole company until today is, and our way of, if you look at Sankey, when you start Sankey in 2010 in Mexico, first things was the omotenashi, which everybody think this is really ridiculous at that time. Who is what is this businessman who want to start a business talking about kindness and giving people first, and give and then you can take, and not the opposite. It is not a classic way of thinking, and unfortunately, and this is what I am happy that Sankey could change the minds now of people around, at least into this village, is kindness is not weakness, and strong people must have this face of kindness. You know, we cannot just associate strength with ruthlessness. The same thing with woman empowerment. You know, from a village in the farmers to everywhere, we have the women's around us, and the woman's life is not easy. From they are young to growing to rising to working. Unless we empower these women with at least healthy life, they cannot bring more justice, more fairness, and use their superpower to bring better humanity and kindness to around us. Now, you saw, Alex, recently we are talking about the Sankey culture and how the brand is going to be spread, and you saw how much we are very strict about putting the kindness at the front, and this is annoy a lot of people, because this is not normal. You cannot go out from Sankey and find another company who tell you our purpose is to empower women.
Absolutely right.
And I'm very sorry for all of people who we are annoyed, because this is not yet the standard of human life, which is sad for me. A lot of lip service about empowerment, a lot of lip service about kindness, but in terms of actions is not relevant and is not following, and this is not what we want to do. And that's why I admire your courage every day, because starting something when it is already successful, it's very easy, but starting from zero to say something is not easy. Empowering women is, if you look today about empowering women, a lot of companies, they thought, okay, this is good for sustainability, good for branding, let's empower women. So what they do, they find a very strong woman who succeeded already, and they bring her and celebrate her and give her an award. And this is, frankly speaking, is not what Sankey we want to do at all. We want to bring the woman who didn't succeed yet, and avoid she find to become a ruthless way to rise in the society. And we want her to find a better, smart way of collaboration and the humanity at the same time. This is what we want to spread and promote, and that's why for us the woman empowerment is very. Woman is our mother, is our wife, is our sisters, is our friends, is our protectors. You know.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And we need to empower them, and we're on that. We started with all these messages of service, as you said, with the omotenashi Japanese way of serving, which is giving without expecting anything in return. and giving before taking, and with all these messages of women empowerment, and also with this technology that nobody still understands, because we have these ideas that the bacteria are bad, you know, and when we're showing here the human body that is full of bacteria inside and outside, and all the different types of bacteria, and we today know that we have around 2 kilograms of our weight are bacteria, and that they are very, very important for our health, then this is shocking, because we're changing all the concepts, that all the knowledge that we received in early years of our lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is what we try to bring, this awareness about this invisible force of nature, you know, which is this microbiome which is around us. And I hope with this crisis we are living today about this pandemic, is this is bring awareness and light to existence of such bacteria around us in our body, in our system, in our skin, and connecting us together. And how can we improve such a system? Again, the woman, from woman empowerment as a purpose, but also from a technology. And this is something today is really very interesting what we are going to share, Alex. If we look at the woman, and today our subject normally how our technology about the is going to improve the situation, or reduce a contamination of a coronavirus, etc. If you look at the if you go to the first page about, you know, the cases of coronavirus in the world. I don't have here the US one, but it is everybody knows it because it's always in the news. It's more than 1 million cases already. You know, Japanese have at least 10 times less cases of coronavirus. I think this is again is a very well connection to about the bacteria system, and this is, you can see there that how a country like France have very bad status because of the super consumption of antibiotics, which damage the microbiome system, you know. Now there is something interesting, because we start about this woman empowerment today, is if you look about the cases, men and women, men is making 2/3 of cases at least. Woman has more protection against the virus. And everybody in the beginning think, okay, this is because of the woman have a beta mitochondria system. So mitochondria of the woman is more resilient to shock than the men, which is true. But I think there is another things, and this is if you move to the next pages of the virus. It's very, very simple, Alex. If you look here at the spike of this coronavirus, which everybody see in TV, so this is the spikes, or the doors that allow the bridge to go into the cell to contaminate it. Now, why is women have more advantage than men? Women have hormone estrogen, and this metabolite of these hormones can at least confuse or avoid these spikes to connect with this cell. One of the estrogen-like activity, like Edeas or other metabolites from this woman hormones around the women to avoid contamination or increase the viral charge of the virus comparing to a man. Now, how can we bring this science into a very clear application? We thought that if we just copy the woman advantage and expand it, so we just focus, and this is not only in this year. We have been working into immunity. You know, virus has been the enemy of a human for thousands of years, and we have been working always about how to improve the immunity of the human body. And one of the organ that we always try to focus on, Alex, is the lung. Lung is always touched by the human. A lot of, if you look, one of the reason of diseases of a human beside the heart attack is the pneumonia. Somebody get pneumonia 75 years old, go to the hospital, big chance he will not come back home. Lung is very fragile organ, and we must protect it from such contamination through this oral system. So what we found always in, from our experience in the rosemary, if you take up the product Orisod, it has the rosemary and as one of the major component, and everybody think this is just a rosemary extract or rosemary powder, which has nothing to do from, only the smell is a rosemary, but the component or the bioactive has been selected very carefully to be able to damage this spike of virus. I cannot say damage, but intercept or avoid this spike to connect with the cell. So if we want to make an analogy about that, as we was earlier talking, is we can think that instead of protecting the house by putting super alarm system inside, we just protected the key of the main door, that any thief's key will not be able to enter inside, by having a sort of some glue at the keyhole. So whenever anything will come to touch, it will not be activated. So it is very simple. It's very easy. It is, of course, it is not, you can tell me it is not very deep and complicated and reflect the huge effort you are doing. So if I'm your supplier of your house protection, you don't want to pay me too much money. I agree about this point, but it is effective or not at very low cost? Absolutely, yes. If somebody just take our product, and this is what we want to do, and being able to have this mouth mucosa coated with such bioactives, and then being able to be interacted with an influenza or with SARS-CoV style viruses, is this going to reduce the chance that we are contaminated? Absolutely, yes. And this is, we have demonstrated it, proved it, not only for this virus, but for the influenza, which is more priority for me than this virus. And I remind it clearly, Alex, we never focused in the corona as a solution. It is not our research team. Influenza, yes, which is the similar family of the coronaviruses things,
Yeah, and this
so
is amazing.
Yes.
What you're saying is that these molecules that come from the rosemary, which are metabolites, and maybe you should explain a little bit more on the solution that you found after understanding these Okinawan centenarians, and why if we don't have this microbiome, how and why we can be protected, and why you developed all this technology, which is unique. This is very important for all our audience to understand, because this is unique. Nobody has this type of technology, and this is not a vitamin or a mineral or an antioxidant or a milkshake or all these type of products that are everywhere in the supermarkets via direct selling, network marketing selling, pharmacies. We're completely different. You're talking about something that is really a breakthrough, and these molecules avoid or reduce the impact of a virus trying to enter into the cell, which is what they're looking for, because the virus, in this case the COVID-19, gets into the cell to have access to the energy of the cell, so the virus can replicate itself.
If you look at the symbol longevity way of thinking. If you look 360 degree at somebody who is 100 years, or at the gentleman I saw you with his nice cigarette happily, they don't die because simply the system is enough resilient to avoid being contaminated by something, damaged by something, by disease or by viruses or by other bacteria. So we can define longevity is by ability to survive and have this resilient. Now, where this resilient come from? When the human study the microbiome in the 30s, 40s, 50s in Kyoto University, which is the first place in the world to be very interested about using the bacteria as a longevity solution. The first product like the yogurt technology was found that this bacteria is very good. It has good advantage to the guts, etc. So let's give it to the people. The problem of this success is it's created a marketing concept which say there is good bacteria and bad bacteria. And let's eliminate the bad bacteria, kill them with some sort of something, and let's take this good bacteria, study them, grow them, make companies that produce them, and teach people that you take this good bacteria and you can be good and everything was okay. The reality is completely different, Alex. This is like a human life is like jungle life, everyday jungle. And imagine now you are going to enter the jungle, and at the entrance of the jungle, you just have with you some nice friends with you, kind friends with you. How much is going to be your survivability if you just have your nice friends with you, comparing if you have another ugly friends who has a lot of knives with them?
Yeah, very low.
Very low. This is the real of the microbiome. Everybody say there is the good and the bad, but in reality, the good and the bad live together. And the dark and the white live together. And this separate this one from this one, it's become weakness. So how can we use these poisonous bacteria that nobody want to talk about? And this is where, if you look, for example, in the human centenarians, the #1 bacteria that live in their body after 100 years is E. coli, which is a poisonous bacteria. Am I right?
Wow. Yes. Yes.
But poison also is very good because it can kill a lot of other things. It can make a chemical reactions. So bacteria in itself, each colony, it's a chemical factory, which can produce something simple to something very, very complicated. You take out this complication, it's weakness. The bacteria that make yogurt, make milk, the bacteria coming from cows, which is the majority today everybody is intaking, is a very weak type of bacteria. The one which is very, very strong and poisonous, they don't do yogurt, they don't do lactobacillus lactic acid, you know. They do other things, and they do a lot of other metabolites, and they produce other things that others bacteria cannot produce. And this total collaboration make that they are able to have such bioactives. I couldn't, and no science today, Alex, and this is no scientific person today can say that we can take such bacteria from this human and make it live in another human. It's like I'm telling Dr. Ellen to, she is hearing us, tomorrow morning she can fly to north of Japan, where people is just eating raw fish every day. And if from the breakfast there is no cafe, but there is onion soup. She can stay a few days, then the system become very disturbed, you know. We cannot just take somebody from place and put it to other place. And this is what we try to do. If you ask me why the rosemary is interesting like this, why everybody is recently published in Nature magazine, rosemary molecules is good for dementia, it's improving Parkinson, from Tokyo University to a lot of Americans institute. It's crazy why this spice is very good. Is it the spice itself? I don't think so. Rosemary has a lot of oil on it, and if it is coming from a place where is a lot of other bacteria around, this oil become like a carrier, and we can get a lot of beneficial from surrounding things. Now, is this the good bacteria or the bad one? I think we cannot say good and bad anymore if we are smart. If we are scientific, we don't say good and bad. We can say weak and strong, because the strong one can be good and bad at the same time, and the good one can be good or weak or strong at the same time. We need to have this vision in terms of strength and not just in terms of good and bad.
And the American market is starting to understand, I say starting because they have never heard of metabolites, but they are starting to understand the importance of the microbiome and microbiota. And that's why the American market is full of probiotic products. If you go today to a pharmacy, to a nutrition center, you see all types of probiotics everywhere, in drinks, in multivitamins, multiminerals, all types of products that have probiotics inside. And again, I understand this is a marketing thing because of what you explained. All these probiotics, which are bacteria, don't work in the long term.
The efficacy for any bacteria system, even transplantation, it goes for days only. Now, this is very exciting because you can say, yes, I take bacteria from somebody very energetic and give it to somebody sleepy, and for a few days they can act differently. But the problems is the next is does not work anymore. Now, is taking going to Walgreens today and buy some probiotics, is it going to work? Absolutely yes, for one day or two. You can go to the toilet, get some diarrhea, you feel good, you feel some change. But the problem is not about that. And if you, in this case, you can just take some dirty from soil from your garden and eat it, and next day also you can go to toilet and it make you feel different also. The point is, how can we use this in a sustainable way?
Yeah.
For me, if you, because you talk about the American market, everybody download millions of copies of Tony Robbins, of other motivational books, and how to become rich, and how to become, everybody handling in their smartphone, how to read quotes and how to become billionaires. But why there is no efficacy? The world is becoming, the middle class is disappearing all over the earth these days.
Yeah,
it's not working. Bringing, I think there is, to come back to Dr. Ellen, she said something, the essence of what I was hearing her saying, I can sum up it, boil it down to one word, which is called momentum. The human body need to work all together. It is, you cannot say this is like a shelf and this is the heart here and this is for cardiovascular, like supermarket or pharmacy store. This is a system that work like watch all together at the same time. And to organize such whole system at the same time, it is really complicated. This is not human. This is bacteria's job. And this is, if you ask me, a product like Bilage, what it is doing, is it really doing this or doing that? No, it's making that the whole body work together. The whole microbiome coordinate together. It's a plus minus a roadmap for the system, how to operate and synchronize. But it is not just it's not a solution for this organ, or this is good for my liver, or this is good for my heart or my eyes. The human body is very complicated and has all of this microbiome, and our solution is just kick them to work together efficiently and not stop some and others. American pharmacy store is full of a lot of cheap supplement, Alex, which a lot of them, before they used to criticize them that it was placebo. And when it was placebo, frankly speaking, I was thinking it is much better than now. Now they are going to control them with the FDA and make them sure that there is bioactive inside, which create more problems than before. Because now if you take somebody who's going to take a lot of zinc, because they are reading that zinc is very important for immunity, his absorption of calcium is going to go down. very, very complicated system. So I think our solution or our technology is not to bring what is human don't have, is to bring them a system that can collaborate and organize their organs. And this is what we have been focusing in all of our technology.
Yes, and people think that we have prebiotics or probiotics because that's what they know. And they are even asking tonight if our products have prebiotics and probiotics. And at the end, this goes beyond that. I think that you have a great explanation that we get the milk from the cow or the egg from the chicken, which is what really works. And that's what we're giving through a product like Belash or Cronui or Inner 7 or Hasaki. All the products have metabolites. And I want to be clear because in the US market, we have just begun and there's a lot to teach the market and to teach our distributors, to teach our customers. So they understand that this is different and this is a breakthrough technology and that's why our products really work.
This is I understand this the power of marketing is a huge, and everybody now because the science saying everything is the microbiome. If you have some type of bacteria into your skin and guts, they can produce themselves the vitamins. You don't need to take the vitamins in this case. Wow. If you have if you take, for example, the rosemary, they promote a lot of type of bacteria in the guts that they produce the vitamins like the B6 themselves. So why we need to give people vitamin B6 when the body itself can synthesize it? So I think this is the things that very difficult to do in terms of marketing. If I'm marketing man, I'm already fired. But this is the truth. And if we can, into our ecosystem, into our community, promote the good knowledge, for us it is very, very important to do that. But the other companies who are selling all of these probiotics is changing. Japanese is the one who started with Yakult since the 1930s about taking bacteria to transplant it to other people, and it took them long time for the last 30 years to change opinion, to accept that it is not enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The strongest bacteria we are using, by the way, Alex, if you look at the American market today, all of the stands, bacteria that sold in the market with all of these billions and millions and every day to take, coming mainly from cows and the cheese industry that come from Europe, from France and Italy. So cheese makers, bacteria become the bacteria that we are selling today.
Really? So they recycle the bacteria that is used to produce cheese and then they sell it as a probiotic for your health? That's what you're saying?
If you look at the biggest suppliers in the US market, like the Danish, etc., all of these suppliers used to supply the bacteria for the cheese maker, if you are a farmer and you need to make some sort of cheese, and from these type of bacteria, they grow this, because this is at least is not going to kill you. I don't know if you realize bacteria is too much powerful. Can you imagine giving somebody bacteria, which is, they say it is alive? It's crazy. Human body for billions of years develop itself to kill anything that goes into the mouth. And now we are saying to them, we can bring you something that your mom, with her complicated system, which is more complicated than an Apollo space shuttle, didn't able to deliver for you. We are going to deliver you for over $20 or $30. I don't know how it cost, but this is not serious scientifically. It's not marketingly. It works. But also, when everybody promotes cigarette in the beginning of the century, it was for health, and the X-ray was for discovering the woman's baby sex, etc. It's any technology in its beginning, it's misused.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. By the way, I hope you're taking notes. This is fantastic information. This is a lot of know-how explained in a very simple way And I really hope you're taking notes, because this will really help you explain what you have in your hands, the technology that you have in your hands, so you can start explaining to all your customers and potential distributors around what the truth around our technology and how and why it works. So what you're saying is, I didn't know where the pre and probiotics are coming from in the majority. And well, I insist that we have nothing to do with these probiotics and prebiotics. This is different. And we can also say, this is very interesting around what this slide says around the peptides vaccine and Orisod, which is the active ingredient in Belash, around Orisod, and considered a natural vaccine.
Yeah, because here, you know, with if you take the olive leaf we are using, it is not just simple olive leaf, and it is not simple olive. It is wild trees of olive, and this is the millennium trees. So this is the trees that live more than 1,000 years. So they have at least in our plantation now we have the trees which is 2,300 years, which is means this trees overlived before even the Jesus area, you know. So it has a track record of success to show that it has a system that fighted viruses, fighted infection, fighted the insects, etc., etc. And we think that this immunity for such trees it's not coming from just polyphenols or antioxidants. It's come from the trees total complexity of own microbiome that make that this trees being able to deliver such bioactive. And this is the, when we add the Orisod 5, this is the ability of this product at very low dosage to bring such advantage. It has this natural peptide. And about this microbiome, Alex, or what I was saying, you know, about the probiotics from the cows and what we are bringing, it's not, I'm not saying only something, this is weak or this is not enough good. The solution we have been working on always is the wild varieties. So I have been never interested by a plantation like we are doing in just bringing all of the trees and grow them in the same place together. This is, trees become weak. The wild varieties in a wild place is the place that allow these microbiome probiotics to grow within the trees. And when we take these leaves and put them into a product, we are getting all of this wildness of this jungle. And this is the part which is we have been interested by for the last 20 years. And for this Orisod we are developing now. And here I share with you again this is, I think, the Orisod that you're having today. And this is the new package that we got yesterday from that we're going to promote in the Japanese market for doctors only. The main bioactives with Orisod here is why it is even Japanese clinic love this bioefficacy. It's coming from wild trees, not from human-made trees, human-made plantation.
The Black community than Donald Trump.
Yes, we follow you, Doctor. Sorry, let me open your microphone.
Sorry, something.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We hear you.
Yes. So this is, Alex, the most interesting things that we discover that not only the trees, but also the human, they can have this natural peptide vaccines that allow them to avoid contamination, insects, viruses, bacteria. In a lot of Mediterranean, there has been a lot of viruses destroying trees, olive trees in the last few years. If you look in the internet, especially in Italy, north of Spain, the plantation we have is in the south of Spain. And we choose the south of Spain, which is not easy for olive trees as a way of selection, natural selection. Eliminate all of the trees that need a lot of water, eliminate all of the trees that weak, and we just concentrate in the very strong wild trees varieties. And this plantation today is doing it's become our plantation for producing orisod ingredient, and this can be visited I hope by our members next year. I don't know how it will be, but at least from 22-23 we will have the most beautiful olive plantation in Earth.
Yeah, that's amazing. And please raise your hand if you want to visit our plantations, our own farms in the coming years. I know it's a fantastic place to visit. I don't know how many companies in the world have their own farms that control their own technology. And we're used to the mass production. I insist on the type of products that we have access to in the market, and they don't have this. They are not even worried on the origin of the active ingredients, of the ingredients of the plants. They don't care. They just want to sell something with good marketing, with good packaging, with good flavor, that it tastes good. That's the only thing that matters. And people are forgetting about the quality and about their health. And this coronavirus thing is helping us to get more conscious around health and the importance of health, and the importance of a strong immune system, and the importance of how weak is at the end our health balance and our health systems. Because I think that also the US has as France, has a very strong social security and health systems. And well, we're seeing the numbers. Those systems are not enough to control a pandemic like this.
Yeah, this is really very important for bringing to customers the efficacy. When we started, Alex, we talk about our purpose is women empowerment. For a company who has this as a purpose, and we write it at our door, we believe that, you know, women have collective intelligence, and slowly every day the woman get more awareness and education. So we cannot trick the woman and telling her, okay, this is our product.
Doctor, we lost a little bit of your communication. We lost the connection, but I can tell you that please don't leave, because we have a great surprise at the end of this conference. Actually Helen is here, and we can anticipate a little bit of that, because I'm excited about what we will be giving them at the end of this conference.
Absolutely. This information, Mr. Alejandro Tello Lopez, it has been so rich, so elevating and empowering in the world that we live in today. It can be sometimes scary.
So let's move on, Dr. Edeas. I'm glad you're back here.
I think we can move, Alex, to the conclusion with the mitochondria, and because this is interesting, as Dr. Ellen was talking about how this is affecting the kids, or this is about the cytokine, and how the mitochondria, you know, is very important part of the inflammation. And if we can improve the quality of the mitochondria and they reduce or balance this inflammation, we can have much better response to aggression, if it is virus or whatever it is. And here is the part of the lung, which is causing all of these scary, not only for the virus of the corona, but also for the influenza, for example, or the pneumonia. And we can see here clearly that the lung is very, very fragile organ, and if it is attacked by the human immunity system, it can damage it even worse than the virus itself. So we can see that the average, because the human body gets this surprise attack from a virus that does not know what it is exactly, it's going to attack it in a way that overreacting, and can cause all of these symptoms from the lung to the kidneys to all of these damages that happen in these fragile organs. This is very interesting, is the mitochondria. You know, we love the word mitochondria because at the end of the day, this is the most important organ that connecting things together from the body to the brain to everywhere. And the mechanism of action of our product is going directly to the mitochondria. And this is has been published, patented in the new Belage 5. There is a new patent about mitochondria modulation and mitophagy. So this is improve the function of the mitochondria. And mitochondria, I think, Dr. Ilan, something interesting to what you are saying, you know, how it can affect from a child to adult to everybody. You know, this is the place where it produces the majority of the human energy. You can say the energy is like a plus minus like a human money. If somebody have enough energy at this cellular level of mitochondria, the brain will act in a way that able to do and can do. If this mitochondria is damaged because of aging, it's damaged because of sickness, or damaged because of the nutrition. In this case, less energy, so the brain will move into can't do, into slowing down, into seeing restriction. And this mitochondria can affect the human mood, depression, happiness, motivational, etc. So this is, for me, the real momentum organ of the body is the mitochondria. And Orisod science is very, very focused about this mitochondria. And we want to become #1 solution for human health to improve this energy that can affect our vision, motivational, health, etc. This is, I think, very important point. And we did several clinical studies, especially here in Japan, with a lot of Japanese doctors. As I mentioned to you, we will start the sales of Orisod in Japan very soon in the Japanese clinic. So it's the same formula as we are promoting in the US. This is the efficacy that has been done and in Japan here about influenza, because this is one of our top focus, which can see at least it reduce influenzas by 50%, cut infection rate. The other thing is pneumonia, which is very nice performance to reduce by 67% the infection of pneumonia after intaking the product. So this is in the group who took the product comparing to group placebo. So frankly speaking, the technology has very, very strong efficacy, and not only in the people who is taking it, millions of people every day, but also in terms of clinical trials and data performance. So this is, we move us to the conclusion, Alex, about everything we are talking today, that the health for us is, we look at it is as a capital, and the very rich people and the very poor people have this common point of they need to have very healthy body, and they both of them cannot afford to be sick. Each time we are sick, we lose life expectancy. Sickness is like dominoes. Human body becomes sick a little bit, then become big sick. If we can avoid these sickness, we can maintain the human in very good health, so they can be at their best every day, and they make their performance at best. This is our purpose of this technology. this is my point to the Alex, Dr. Ellen, about the technology we are doing. What you are saying is not really exaggerating, Dr. Ellen. In this product, absolutely, it's changed the health of people. I was telling Alex 10 years ago, if a Mexican woman go to the market and she is poor and she is going to have choice between buying a chicken for her kids or buying them this product, and she decided to buy this product instead of chicken, I can sleep very good at night. We want to bring something that not only improve some part of the body, but improve the human ability to rise and fight into this jungle of life, of everyday life. And this is the technology we have been developing. I thank you very much for your trust. I thank you, Alex, because the way we are doing things is not orthodox way. I understand that some people will say, if this is super technology, why this company is not using a lot of money for marketing, making advertisement, making a lot of things. Our aim is to promote this business with empowering women as a purpose. And women don't like, frankly speaking, just the show off. We need to bring consistency and slowly take care of our families first, create our own community, our own village, and expand in a very smart way. And this is what we have been doing.
Absolutely, doctor. Thank you. I absolutely agree. We are the type of company that step by step, inch by inch, we are conquering the markets where we are. It takes time. We're patient. We don't want to be the fastest growing company in America.
Yes.
We want to be the best because we consider health, we take health seriously. It's our most important asset, and it's our honor to keep you healthy. And our main purpose is to respect our customers and to bring them the best of the best to help them in their health and wellness. And this is not a minor thing, because the market is full of a lot of companies that don't take this seriously. They don't care about it. They just want to sell and sell and sell products. We are not that type of company. We're the type that in the long term will be considered the best company in the world around health and wellness. And that's why we have kept all of this information for us. And that's why we're creating our own village, our own community, our own ecosystem. So the people that are inside are protected and feel safe and secure about what we're giving them. And this will eventually explode in the American market and create the momentum that we're expecting and that we need and that we desire and that the people desire in this part of the world, because the statistics, the data are not very good. There's a lot of unhealthy people. There's a lot of problems around health, and we're here to help them. So thank you, doctor, for your time. Thank you for sharing a little bit of all the wisdom and knowledge that you have. It's an honor to be your partner. It's an honor to be your friend. It's an honor that 11 years ago, exactly this day, I was with you in Tokyo, Japan, planning on launching this fantastic company. Thank you for all your trust.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you,
for your time
Ellen.
and your humbleness. Thank you.